Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Wednesday, June 10th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Ball State game in 87 days, the game against Michigan in 171 days. We're sponsored today by our friends at Jeff Ruby's Columbus, proudly offering nationally acclaimed USDA prime steaks, seafood and sushi, impeccable service, live entertainment, and an attention to detail that is simply unmatched. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. I'm joined by Juck Miletti of Buckeye Insiders. We are here outside today at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. Just finished up day one of summer camps. Some really interesting prospects here. And, these camps they're still the 2027 recruiting cycle still going on. But these camps are always a lot more about 2028s, 2029s, 2030s, and a lot of kind of first impressions of guys.
Yeah, definitely. And we got our first impression today of the number one defensive lineman in the country, Kellen Hall, but he wasn't the only excellent defensive lineman here today, as Nikolas Stevens, a top 150 overall from DeMatha, really is the one that really stood out to me today, catching my eye. I think this guy is number one, top three schools as of right now, Louisiana, LSU, Tennessee, and Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So he loves Ohio State. And he's a guy who is certainly the type of personality, after talking to him, that fits in really well with Ohio State. And I thought he was really quick, really on point, really loves Larry Johnson, it seems, right off the rip, which is always very important. And definitely a guy that stood out to me. But Kellen Hall, wow, that guy is the real deal, the number one overall, or number three overall, number one defensive tackle. And Larry Johnson certainly has made some movement with him, and he has talked to Jameer Weiss quite a bit about Jameer and his commitment and potentially playing together with Jameer. Definitely seems also like a guy who's a real personality fit as well. So good stuff there on the defensive line.
Well, and when guys come out to these camps, you get a chance to work with the coaches, and it's a little bit of a dry run of, okay, what is it kind of like working with these guys at practice? Man, oh man, Larry Johnson's been doing this forever. And every time I see Larry Johnson work in one of these camps, I'm just stunned all over again. It's like it's the first day he's ever done this. He's so enthusiastic, he's so engaged, he's so involved. And yeah, he's that way with the Kellen Halls or the Nikolas Stevens, where they're guys who are going to be recruited. There are plenty of guys who are not going to ever step on the field as Ohio State Buckeyes, who he's just as engaged with. You can tell he genuinely loves doing this stuff.
The vast majority of them are guys who won't play Power 4 college football, and he certainly takes his time with them just as much as the big timers, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
Also, he looks great. He's in fantastic shape, and there is absolutely I know the recruits that I've talked to, and I've asked them point blank, what do you think about coming to Ohio State, potentially knowing that you might have to switch defensive line coaches? And they're kind of taken aback. Like, Larry told me he's going to be here 5 more years. That's what he's saying. So I believe him. I'm not doubting him anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, Joey Bosa was getting questions about that, and it has been quite a minute since Joey Bosa was here. And you mentioned Nikolas Stevens from DeMatha. Chase Young was getting those questions. Chase Young out of DeMatha, obviously was here for the Chase Young era, was here for the Zach Harrison era, was here for the JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer era. I mean, was here for Caden Curry, is here for the final year of Kenyatta Jackson. At this point, he's moving around much better than he was a couple of years ago. I mean, he looks like he is really shape. Yeah, no, he really does. He is, the level of energy that he has at these camps is really amazing. You mentioned Kellen Hall and Nikolas Stevens. Stevens did talk about the fact that, he knows all about Chase Young. Yeah. Jason Moore is here too right now.
Compared him to Jason Moore. Did he get
Jason
Moore.
Yeah, in terms of being someone who would probably play inside at the next level as a 3-tech for Larry Johnson. One other guy I wanted to talk about was Sip Cooper, 2029 wide receiver. Got a chance to talk to him after practice or after camp. He was impressive. Like, a lot of times you'll kind of look at these groups and it's, like, okay, which guy is the guy? He's a 2029. He is already a big dude. And a 2029 means he's going into his sophomore year. So he still has 3 more years of high school to go. Very, nice kid, very mature. Talked to him for a few minutes afterwards. Really likes Cortez Hankton. This is not a lingering Brian Hartline relationship. This is a Cortez Hankton relationship. Said he really liked getting a chance to work with Cortez Hankton. Did you get a chance to watch him at all?
I did.
Yeah.
A couple of guys with a different level of quickness. Certainly he was one that stood out and definitely was a guy that, really flashed a couple of big catches here in this end zone right over here. But the wide receiver that really, I think, impressed me the most was Cordell Bell from Cincinnati, who is a guy that's a 3-star kid right now that I don't think will be a 3-star for much longer. This guy is a legit 6'3", and that's going to be an in-stater to certainly take a look for. We also had a top 100 wide receiver in the house today, Tom.
Yep.
Zion
Robinson out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is, the wide receiver recruiting, obviously it's a change from the Brian Hartline era. Still plenty of talent showing up here, which, when you look at the track record of the program, really probably not a surprise.
Absolutely not. No, this is still wide receiver U. We got guys coming in here that have had no relationship with Brian Hartline. This is all about, starting with Cortez Hankton right off the rip. And as he goes into next cycle, his first full cycle, that's when we can accurately judge what he is and what he's like as a recruiter. This one here, he's caught some flack for, obviously there are no recruits yet. We don't know how this cycle is going to go or how it's going to land with these wide receivers, but he's coming in on somebody else's board, trying to play makeup time here, and ultimately it still could end up being a great class.
Yep. One other guy that I wanted to mention real quick was Jax Wilkerson. This is one of my favorite kinds of players where I'm not sure which one he is, and I'm looking at the offensive lineman. He's a 2029 offensive lineman out of Oklahoma, and I know the name. I've seen the picture. They're all wearing helmets. It's hard to tell who's who, and I thought I knew who he was, and I was like, but there's also this other guy who's a 2029, really big frame. Like I don't know who he is. He's got the Ohio State frame already as a 2029, and it was like, oh no, I was wrong. That's Jax Wilkerson. I was like, okay, good. Well, good news. He has the Ohio State frame. It seems like he has the Ohio State feet. We'll see. I don't know if he's gotten an offer yet. Sometimes these guys, a lot of times, are back in the facility right now. We have not heard anything one way or the other on that. But did you get a chance to watch him?
I did.
Yeah.
Got a chance to talk. He said he needs to work on his hips, is what he was told today. But boy, it all looked right on point with a guy who is potentially going to be a top 10, 15 tackle in this class at some point. Currently not ranked, but that won't be much longer because he's an absolute giant. Long arms, super long arms, like a true 6'7". The dude was a monster.
Yeah, and you have not been out to one of these camps before, right?
It's my first time.
So one thing that I always think is interesting is you can tell the guys who are the Ohio State prospects versus here's the normal people. Here are the normal-sized human beings. Here are the people who are like, oh, well, that's a large human being. And then it's like, oh, no, that's the guy who Ohio State's looking at. It's never usually very hard to pick those guys out, even from 50 yards away.
Absolutely. And it was, there's a lot of people here, but they stand out. They stand out, just a different level of athleticism that really pops right off the rip. And, of course, the size as well is usually a pretty good giveaway. But, man, talk about overstimulated. This was an amazing day here for camp number one. So many people, all the players were out here. Jeremiah was out here walking around with B.I., Jalen McClain, and Devin Sanchez, and Earl Little. They were all out here having fun. It was a great time here at the Woody today. Yeah,
always a lot to see, a lot to hear, a lot to learn. We will have more. We'll have some highlights from some of these guys we'll be talking about on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Buckeye Insiders. We'll try and put together some of the interviews we got with some of these guys after as well, so you can sort of hear from them, sort of get, this is, again, sort of a first impression with a lot of these guys, a lot of 2028s, 2029s. We're going to see some 2030s in the next week or so. So we'll have all that for you at youtube.com/@Buckeye Insiders. We'll be back here on Wednesday. That's the 7-on-7 camp. So just sort of a 7-on-7 team competition. We'll get a look at some prospects there. And then Thursday, camp number 2 of the summer. we'll be back out with a whole new list of prospects to watch, guys to see, guys to get to know. And you'll sometimes on some of the Thursday ones get some of the guys who are coming in for their official visits over the weekend who maybe get here a day early or something like that. So you'll get a chance to sometimes see some of those guys as well. I want to take a moment to thank our friends at Jeff Ruby Steakhouse, the award-winning upscale steakhouse in downtown Columbus, named one of the top 50 steakhouses in America by Food Network. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
It means a lot, you know. That's a guy, Coach Johnson, he's coached everybody. He's coached first rounders all the way down to the top, and you know what it looks like. So to be my age and to be compared to something like that and still be in high school, that's
being from Louisville, only a few hours away. Like, how much does the proximity of Ohio State, how much of an appeal is that for you?
It's good, you know. One thing I really want to see, my family needs to see me play. That's one thing I want to be. So anywhere I go, I want to feel like home. And being 3 hours away is a really great deal for me, you know. We drove up this morning, it wasn't too bad. Took a little nap, and I realized we're here. So that's something that made me happy.
What else about Ohio State is stood out to you? It seems other than on field.
Just the network they have from, I know NIL is huge thing nowadays. That's what they have. They're gonna set you up with the right people, get you money management, set you up outside the game of football. They have a lot of alumni that's willing to help the football players. And that's one thing that intrigued me. Like I said, life of football is very big for me.
What do you feel like you're able to show today? What do you feel like you're able to show today?
I just like my versatility. Like I said, like I want to pitch some outside reps and inside reps, and I think bag drill did really well. When we transitioned to the run, I felt like I looked very explosive. I felt like I did really good.
How much of a relationship do you have with Shamir White?
I got a good relationship, especially after we went to Under Armour camp in Columbus. He was down there, so we got a chance to work out together. And he told me why he came to the Ohio State University. He told me I had to get that right, so I got that right.
What is his, when he talks to you about your recruitment, what is maybe his pitch to you about joining him in that class?
He says we're the greatest to ever do it. You know, year in, year out, they're always at the top. It's everyone wants to beat Ohio State. He said you want all the best players want to have competition. That's what Ohio State gets. You get the best shot from everybody. That's one thing I believe. I want to be a competitor, so I want everybody's best shot.
When you mentioned Ohio State was kind of recruiting you as an all over, interior, exterior, whatever. Is that the same for every school, or do other schools kind of have you as maybe a little bit more of a set? You're going to be an edge, you're going to be a tackle. How does that vary from other schools?
I think it's the same for everybody, but everyone just wants to see how my body develops. You know, I'm a very young guy right now, 16 years old, so I just want to see how my body develops, and then that's put on weight. 300 pounds is what it'll be, but as long as I can move, they say that should be no problem where I line up.
What are you right now? What are you right now?
I am weighted today. I weighted at 271, about playing around probably 268.
Thank you, Kellen. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So, was this your first time at Ohio State?
Yes, sir.
So what'd you think of the facility, the coaching, all that?
The facilities are nice. I like the coaches, and I like the head coach, Coach Day. I think I got a good relationship with him, and the receiver coach and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, had you talked to Coach Hartline before he left, or is this
No,
this is all new? So this is
all new.
So what do you think of Coach Hank so far?
Coach
Hank. Yeah.
I like him. He like a good mentor, like good teacher and stuff. I like his energy and stuff like that.
What's it like working with him? I would imagine it's a chance to sort of get a sense for what it's going to be like to play for a guy when you're out there getting coached at a camp like this.
It's like he teaches a lot. Like he makes sure you get it, the right things and stuff like that. You got your breaks and stuff fast. Like he hard on you. That's what I like.
What's something that you learned today that you're going to take away from this? Like something that he maybe talked to you about working on or focusing on?
Getting out my break faster, not leaning so much on my brakes. Like back, so I don't slip.
So what other schools are you looking at right now? I know you're pretty early in the process because you're at 29, you got a couple more years, but what other schools have kind of stood out to you so far in your process?
SMU, Miami, Tennessee, stuff like that, yeah.
Who are some other guys out there today who stood out to you, whether it was other wide receivers or maybe defensive backs you went up against? Was there anyone that kind of jumped out to you?
I don't really know his name, but he had red on, and then it was this dude from Florida. He was nice,
yeah. What are some things that you personally are going to be working on this year? Obviously, you got a little more time before you're getting to college, but what's some other stuff that you're sort of going to be working on to get better in the next year or so?
Getting my strength up, and like getting faster on my brakes, and like stop slipping and stuff on my brakes, stuff like that.
What's something you feel separates you as a player from
my work ethic? And like I go hard every play, and I can block.
What are you looking for in a college program? Is there something in particular that's important to you?
A relationship with the head coach and like the receiver coach, and make sure my family good, stuff like that.
And are you planning on coming back this fall?
Yes, sir. Probably. Yes, sir.
You don't have a game yet, but you're kind of planning on it?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Awesome.
I got it like around the time of like when we were ending school, so like around testing. And when I first got it, I was like really excited because I know Chase Young coming from school DeMatha. So I was just excited, really, and then coming down here to show what I can do is really.
Jason Moore as well, right?
Yeah, Jason Moore. I took a picture of him earlier. Yes, sir.
I know you were talking about the impressions you've had of the facilities so far. Curious what other visits you may have made, camps you may have attended, and what your impressions of those ones have been.
All right, so June 1st, I was at Georgia, and then June 4th, I was at Tennessee. I just came back from LSU June 6th. I'm here now, Ohio State, and then next week, June 14th, I'm going to Miami, and June 20th, I'm going to Penn State. And I've been to Penn State and Miami before, so I know what those schools are like. But so far, all the schools I've been to have been like pretty.
What's the summer like for you when you're doing that kind of schedule? And you have that kind of every day, every week, you're going to all these big time schools to show off what you can do.
I'll say one thing is like recovery. For advice, I'd say recovery is the biggest thing. Like, because I know back-to-back camps it can be a stress on your body as long as you take care of it. And it's also been a great learning experience too, seeing how different coaches coach and see what would be a good fit for me.
Sorry if you got asked this already, but when you work with Larry, what do you learn from a guy like that who's been around for so long and seen so much?
I know one thing he taught me was like using my hands, how much power and pointing your hands are, how important your hands are as a defensive lineman, and how much you use it.
In terms of maybe what differentiates him from other defensive line coaches maybe that you deal with, is there anything that stands out about maybe what makes him unique?
Something that makes him unique is like the fact that he'll show you the drill, and if you, let's say you mess up again, he's an easy coach to talk to, and he teaches it like really well. So like for me, for example, I did mess up a couple times, but when he told me what to do and how to do it correctly, I got it down.
Right. When you talk about maybe what kind of role he sees that you could play at Ohio State, do you have kind of an idea of what what type of player he sees you maybe following in the footsteps of? What type of role you could play?
He said you compare me to Jason Moore. Okay. He comes from our school too, around 3 tech, something like that.
3 tech, right?
What do you like about Ohio State? What stands out?
I mean, what the development piece. That's a really big piece. I was talking to Coach Johnson about, like I said, Jason Moore. He said that he had an amazing spring. He's gonna be a strong player. So knowing what Coach Johnson can do and what he has done, I feel like it would be a great choice.
How familiar were you with Coach Johnson before coming here and working with him?
I actually wasn't.
Was not?
I was not familiar at all.
Okay.
But
what did you learn from working with him today?
I learned that like it's all about the hips. Everything from a defensive lineman comes through with the hips.
A lot of guys talk about how hands-on he is at these type of events where other coaches may not talk to you as much or whatnot. Did that stand out?
Yes, very much. Because, for example, when we were in 6-point sense, he really got on us and showed us exactly how he wants the drill to be done. So I feel like that's really like a key piece of the coach.
With his sort of legacy here with the defensive lineman he's produced, how much does that play a part in your thinking going forward?
It plays a big piece because if he's coached players that are in the NFL and that have succeeded in the NFL, I'm thinking like he could do that for me too.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.